Hey, it's Rhonda, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make this quick and easy little cart cash key fob. We recently had an Aldi grocery store open up just a few blocks from my house, and I had never been in one. And I usually don't even carry coins with me to go anywhere anymore. But I thought it would be cute to make a little key fob that I could hang on to my key ring, and I would always have a quarter. So it has a little slit there that you could put a quarter in. I even keep two in there in case I need one to give away. But it's cute, it's easy. I made this one using marine vinyl, so it's wash, you know, you can wipe it off if it gets dirty, but it's quick and easy and it makes a cute gift. So let me show you what you need. You're gonna need 2 pieces of marine vinyl. It's about 3.5 inches wide by 5 inches tall. Some cutaway or tearaway. I use the cutaway. I find it just gives it a little more strength and stability. So I've hooped cutaway in a 4x4 hoop because this design is small enough to fit in a 4x4 hoop. You need some snaps. You can use rivets, I guess, if you want to, but I like these little cam snaps. Something to install the snaps with, something to stick a hole in, because the design is going to stitch out these 2 tiny circles, which are the markings for your snap, so you know exactly where they go. You'll need something to cut the little slit where the quarters go through, and I am using this right here, this X-Acto knife to cut it. I suppose you could use the tiny scissors too. You'll need some tape to hold the vinyl onto the hoop and the tearaway, and of course you need something to attach it to your keys with. You can use something like this or something like this split ring. Easy enough, either one, whatever you have will do. All right, so let's go over to the machine and I'll show you how this works. Okay, so we have our hoop loaded onto the machine, and we're going to stitch out step number 1, which is simply going to stitch out an outline to show us where to put the first layer of marine vinyl. It's just stitching out the shape of the design. Okay, so we're going to put 1 layer of the marine vinyl over this area. Just center it as best you can over the placement line, and then we're going to use some tape to hold that in place. I'm using 3M transport tape right here. It's actually a medical tape, and it tears pretty easy. If the needle happens to go through it, it doesn't make it all gummy or anything. It works great. And what I really like about this tape is you can use it quite a few times before it loses any of its stickiness. All right, so we've got it all taped down in place, and we're going to stitch out the cart. All right, so now that the cart is finished stitching, there's a little tiny heart that goes right in the middle of the shopping cart. And the next step, step number 4, is simply a line that stitches right on top of that shopping cart to show you where you need to cut the line for the coin. Okay, so now we're going to take it back over to the table because we need to cut that line out before we put the back on. Okay, so we took it off of the machine, but we're leaving it in the hoop, and we're going to cut right along this line right here. Let me bring it in a little closer to you. There you go. I'm going to turn it towards me. I guess you could do this with the scissors if you want to. I just find that I like doing it with this X-Acto knife, and just cut right along that thing. That way you'll make sure you have a nice straight line. And if you want to pull out these threads now, you can. If you're a good cutter and you can cut really straight without having something to follow, you can probably skip that step if you want and not worry about it. I sometimes am a good cutter, but not always, so I like to do this step. You can pull that out if you want. The little knot is a little hard to get out, so you have to work with that a little bit. There, we got that out pretty much. There we go. Okay, so it's all out. And while we have it off of the machine, we'll go ahead and put the back on. So we're going to turn it to the back side and grab our vinyl and our tape. I like to buy the 1/2 inch wide tape, and I accidentally ordered the 1 inch wide tape. I like the 1/2 inch better. So I just kind of tear this one apart. Just make sure it's taped down real good. And then we're going to go put it back on the machine and stitch it all together. Okay, if you want the thread in the back to match the thread in the front, and I'm going to just stitch that out in the same purple we stitched the heart in, you can change out the thread in your machine to match whatever you have on the top of your machine if you want, so that the thread in the back looks like the thread in the front. You don't have to, but if you want to take a minute to do that, you certainly can. Alright, so now it's going to stitch the 2 layers of vinyl together, and it's going to go around twice to make sure it stays stitched nice and tight. And it's also going to stitch those 2 little dots I showed you earlier, so that you know exactly where the snaps need to go. Okay, and the last step is going to stitch a cutting line, so that when you cut this out of the vinyl, you can get a nice even cut all the way around. You can stitch that in whatever color you want. We're going to trim it off anyway. But if you're bad at cutting like me, then it gives you a line to follow all the way around the design. Alright, let's take it off the machine and go back to the cutting table because the design is finished stitching out. Alright, so we have it off of the machine. We'll remove our tape I am just going to stick the tape up on my lamp because I can use it for the next one. Especially with vinyl because it doesn't have any little fibers stuck to it or anything. So the tape's still nice and sticky. These are just the tie-in and tie-outs from the machine, so you can trim those shorter if you want. There's no way around them. The machine has to make a tie-in and tie-out, or the stitching will just pull right out. And this has, you know, one from each, so we're going to cut a lot of this off anyway. We'll just neaten it up a little bit on the back. All right, so let's pop it out of the hoop. And let me get my big scissors to trim that. I'm going to take this little piece off right there too. All right, so we're going to cut on that line all the way around. Gives you a nice even cut. Just take your time. I'm cutting underneath a camera, so it's a little bit harder than if I was doing this without the camera right by my head. I suppose you could do it with the small scissors too if you want, but and I do always go back and see if I can neaten it up a little bit too. I am left-handed, so I'm using a left-handed scissors. In case any of you think that I just videoed this backwards or something. Okay, it is going to have all your little thread scraps on here, but you can just wipe them off, sort of. And if you have any little frizzy pieces that you didn't cut quite as nicely, just go around and grab them now. I'll see a few little places where it kind of sticks out. A little rough looking, so I'm just going to even those up a little bit. There we go. Looks good enough, I think. Okay. And now you want to apply the snaps. So we're going to poke a hole with this awl right through the center of the holes. That's stitched on there. So now you have the holes. Let me see. I found these that look close to the same color, but do we really want these? Let's see if we have another color that matches that. I have a lot of snaps here, see? I like my cam snaps. Let me see what I have. If I have anything that's close. Nope. This does look like the right color. Let's see if I have all the pieces that I would need for that one. You have to have, you know, the two different backs for the thing. Yeah, this matches. We'll use these. I like these. These are cute because they're, you know, they're little butterfly ones. You could use that too. I have flowers, I have butterflies, I have some with tiny sewing machines on them. I have lots of different cam snaps here because we use them a lot. Okay, so we're just gonna put the end of the snap through the little hole. I do have a big, heavy cam snap press, but I can't get it underneath this camera. So we're gonna use this little hand tool to install the snaps. And you just place the back side on, put it in here, and squeeze it tight. And you'll know it's on if that's smashed in there, the little center. And we'll put this one on. They're not hard to install. Sometimes, I know you can't see me, I put it on the edge of the table and use the table for some leverage, for strength, just to make sure it's on there really good. All right, so the snaps are on. That's it. We're done. All we have to do is feed one of these through, whether you want this one or the other one. Snap it closed, and our little Cart Cash Keyfob is done. What do you guys think? Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and share and follow, and I'll see you soon.